Welcome to Planning Phase Syndicate, episode 47. No one is ever really gone, except for tonight when Charles isn't going to be here because he has started a new job and is in training tonight and is not able to join us. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Kyber Cup. If you don't know what the Kyber Cup is, we'll be going over that in detail, how you can join, how you can get into it, and how you might be able to play against some of us Planning Phase Syndicate team members who will be joining here the Kyber Cup this round. We're also going to be talking about the new amazing updates between Warthog, the Razor Crest, and anything to do with any of the new reveals. And yes, I'm going to spend a little bit more detail tonight because I want to review the difference between old Z95s and new Z95s. So we'll probably spend a little bit more time going through those than we had originally planned on. And I'm very excited because if they release these here in the next couple of months, it'll be a new thing, for me to buy, and it'll be something that hopefully will be able to be played at Gen Con this year. Joining me on mic tonight is my good co-host, my buddy, JJ Everstein Bronson, which I don't know where I came up with that, but it's short for Jeb. I'll call you Jeb tonight.
What's going on,
kind of
everybody?
freaking long week.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah. So apologies ahead of time to everybody for not making it for Sunday's cast. Unfortunately, light caught up to us this past Easter weekend, but it was a great Easter. How was it for you?
Mine was good because I didn't really have to celebrate like I normally do. So normally we go to my parents' house and it's like a cluster and it's on Sunday and I don't like to get up early. And so this year we went to my parents on Saturday night for dinner, which was nice. So we did everything on Saturday night and I spent all of Friday and most of Saturday playing Arkham Horror. So that was exciting. We almost got through a 9-round campaign in 2 days. So yay. And then Sunday I spent time with the kids, hanging out with them. And then I went to see Dirty Rotten Imbeciles, which nobody has probably ever heard of, but they've been around since the 80s. So if you like punk music, I went and saw like an old school punk thrash band on Sunday. So that was my Easter. So I enjoyed that immensely.
Nice. Yeah, we had Easter dinner over at my family's place here, actually near Charles' place. We had a nice steak dinner that night. We got to me, my brother, and my nephew. We got into Valheim, which is a game on Steam. Very, very great game. It's like a Viking survival game where you're trying to build up from literally nothing into like create armors and stuff and defeat bosses. Really, really great game if you're playing with a group. And then besides that, we had a great time, eating, just enjoying time. We hadn't seen each other in a while because we've just had a lot of things to go on this past month. It was nice to see family again.
Yeah. And I will say it's always nice when we get to see family. My brother came back from college. My son came home from college. So that's how we got to play the Arkham Horror. And it hasn't been happening as much, and I won't probably see him for a couple of weeks because they both have finals. Well, hopefully my son comes over at least for one day this weekend, because if not, I'm watching Moon Knight without him. So if you're watching, Monty, just as an FYI, if you ain't here by Friday night, I'm watching it without you. Just so you know, boy.
Highly suggested.
Yeah, we have weird like tendencies. Like even when he was younger, there were certain shows we wouldn't watch without each other, right? Like that was just it was our time to watch certain type of shows. But after a while we only used to give each other like about a week, and then after that it was like, man, we're not giving each other any longer, and we're just gonna watch it without the other one. Now I won't lie and tell you that since I've been working at home and The Mandalorian comes out Friday morning at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. my time, that my lunch hour was spent watching The Mandalorian. Every episode, every week. I just watched it twice. I figured it couldn't hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. I did the same exact thing. Yep.
I just didn't tell the kids that's what we did. We watched it on their account, so they would never know that I watched it ahead of time on Disney Plus. So
that's great.
Oh, you know how that is. So your kid's getting up there. Once your kid gets a little bit older, it'll kind of be the same thing. She's going to want to watch certain things with you, and it's going to be like, your bedtime's coming up, honey. We don't have enough time. We're gonna have to wait till tomorrow. And
Yep, that's where I'm at right now with my wife and Dark Knight, or not Dark Knight. Gosh, I wish no. The new Batman movie that came out on HBO, and I've been wanting to watch it for a while because I keep on hearing like great stuff about it, but I've yet to see it. So yeah,
and it is a good. I'll tell you, it's a good movie. So I will. People are saying it's better than the the second Christopher Nolan movie. I will adamantly disagree with that, personally, but that's just because I have an affinity. I'm technically a DC kid, not a Marvel kid. I read both comics, but I was more into Batman as a child than I was anybody but Spider-Man. So those were my two, but I read a lot more DC comics than I did Marvel comics.
I don't know, the Fox Kids Saturday morning X-Men series, man, that was my jam when I grew
Yep.
up, man. Jeez, I love that one.
Well, see, mine was the animated Batman series.
Oh
And
yeah, that was
so
really good.
get this, when it came out on DVD, like when I had my son, so God, this is gonna date me. I'm 30, I'll be 39 this year. My son is 19. So 20 years ago, roughly, right? My son turned 3 and I got divorced. And so when it was my turn for the weekend, my son would want to get up early, and I was pretty young and not an early riser. We watched every one of the Batman animated series. I bought all the DVDs. I just went out and bought the whole collection, and my son and I would watch them. I don't know. We did that for 4 years. Every Saturday morning, he'd want to get up and watch cartoons. We didn't watch the new cartoons most of the time. We watched the old animated, the old Turtles, the old Spider-Man, the old
Yeah,
X-Men, all that stuff from when we were growing up. So it's funny because he still has a huge affinity to the animated Batman series, and he actually introduced it to my daughters, and like so they were watching when they were younger. He would watch it with them. That was like his thing. They would always be like, "Oh, let's watch TV." And he'd be like, "You want to watch Batman?"
that's awesome, man.
So yeah.
That's
So
great.
out of all the DVDs in my collection, those are literally the most worn, like 100%. Those like have had the most spins than you can imagine.
That's awesome, man.
Anyway, let's not talk about DC because technically it's not Star Wars. So tonight we wanted to talk about Kyber Cup. But before we get into Kyber Cup, and I promise we'll get into Kyber Cup, I am excited by Kyber Cup, and I have signed up for it. And I believe JJ has signed up for
Hmm.
it. I
Yep.
don't think Charles will do it, but he may. He's on the fence because he started a new job, and hence why he's not here tonight. Because we had to move the cast from Sunday to here, um, for family reasons. So anyway, so I do believe Charles will be signing up, but I don't want to guarantee it. But at least JJ and I are. But before we get into that, because we're going to talk about the rules, the list building, I want to cover the new stuff. That's what I want to cover.
Yeah.
Because not only do these Z95s look bloody amazing, like they really do, like they look a million times better than anything you can have. And I'll tell you what, if I ever run Lieutenant Blount, I will 100% be proxying that clone Z95 in for the crappy Rebel one that I have. That has like they have the little broken like guns on them because I've had them so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, mine are that, especially my Rebel ones. Oh my god, I've broken the pegs, I've broken the cannons on them. They're magnetized, and the magnets are starting to like wear off. And holy crap, yeah, they need some love.
But just looking at this, like if you just look at, I mean, they look amazing.
Yeah,
And they look bigger. Maybe I'm just crazy, but they look almost a little bit bigger than
the
the original
wingspan
ones.
on them. Yeah, so the other Z95s that we have, their wingspan are slightly more are a little more slimmer, on the ends. So because they have the bigger wingspan, that's why they look like they're actually bigger than they are. But I expect them to be about the same size, just the thicker wings.
All right, they look bigger. I'm excited. I'm hoping they're a little bit bigger, but no big deal if they're not. I'm still extremely excited to put these on the table. So they gave us a dial, right? And they gave us 2 pilots. So I want to go through the two pilots because they're kind of similar, and I want to go through the dial. And I pulled up the costs because I think we're gonna make some predictions tonight.
Okay.
And I pulled up the cost of all the other Z95s. And what I figured we could do is we could talk through what they can do because I think only one out of each faction is worth two poops. Um,
Hmm.
and we could talk through kind of what they can do. The other prediction, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I bet you one of these ships might become the new 2-point ship, and I would probably say it's gonna be Hawk. Um, and they might pull Contrail out of this mix.
So I don't think either one of these ships are going to be the 2-pointer, and the reason for that being is that this pack is going to come with 12 pilots. Obviously, a few of these are going to be generic pilots that are going to be on this. And if you take a look at some of the 2-point ships that are available across the factions, they're basically solo ships, abilities that only affect themselves in that respect. You take a look at Derek, you look at Bucket, you look at Contrail. These are ships that have abilities that only affect their chassis here. Both Hawk and Warthog have the ability to affect the list in general, meaning their friendlies. So I don't think that they would make one of those ships a 2-point ships just for that reason. They might end up having another Z95 clone pilot. My guess would be I doubt they'll do oddball at 2 points, but probably like I don't know, like Jag. If they put him on the Z95, he could be a 2-point coster, or that would be my guess. So,
Ooh, that'd be good. Get Jag in there.
mhm.
All right, I take that. I'll take that. So, do you want to go over? Do you want to go the pilot abilities, or do you want to
Yep.
examine the difference between the two ships first?
Well, let's go over the pilot abilities first, because I think
Okay.
they're very relevant. Now, these are both Hawk and Warhog are pilots that we have seen before, both on the LAT. For Hawk, his ability reads at the start of the end phase, each friendly ship at range 0 to 1 that has revealed a maneuver of 3 to 5, speed 3 to 5, may gain 1 strain token to perform a barrel roll or boost action. And then the chassis ability for this frame is that you can equip 1 torp or missile upgrade. And while your revealed maneuver is blue, you may add a white boost action to your action bar, which is really nice on this particular chassis here.
Awesome. The other piece, right, is it looks like they have the same loadout, right? You get the focus, you get the target lock, and you get the red barrel roll. Those are what the other ones had, right?
Yes, that's right. Mhm.
Okay. So this sidebar is not changing. I don't like the artwork where they're killing that drone there. I'm gonna have to like strike that, like black that out there.
Sensor. So on this frame, I think this is probably a 3-point ship, mainly because the the area of effect it's much smaller than the lat. Granted, the lat is a medium base, but the 0 to 1 range on a medium base is a lot bigger, and it could affect more ships that could fulfill this particular requirement to give them that end phase barrel roll or boost action. Now keep in mind, for newer players, you can't do versatile frame boost and then boost again with Hawk, because you can only take the same action just one time during the entire round. But you can do the Hawk barrel roll and then boost, which is really great after the fact. So
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the key there, right? That is something that you have the ability to kind of double reposition. I
mhm.
will say in an I4, oops, I guess I switched to the slide. I will say in an I4, I think that's highly beneficial in this meta. Um, because you can use it as a block for other enemy ships, or depending on what they're running, you can use it as actually outmaneuvering them. So,
Mhm.
um, so yeah, so I really do genuinely think this is a pretty decent build right there. I would also say this is worth 3 points. if you look at all the other Z95s, they're 2 to 3 points. So this being a 3-point ship, I can totally see that. Unless they want to be nice and give it to us as a 2-point ship, which I'll also take. So Warthog essentially is the exact same thing as his other ability. After a friendly or yourself non-limited ship at range 0 to 2 is destroyed, during the engagement phase, that ship is not removed until the end of that phase. Now, what I will tell you is this has Warthog has lost the value that it originally had, because how often are you running a non-limited ship? Almost
Yeah.
never. I mean, you can, but do you really want to? You know. Now, we also don't know. We've not put non-limited ships on the table with Warthog to see if that his ability in the lat holding them together is worth it. We don't know. You know. We do know fire conversions is amazing. We just don't know if raw dice and no loadout point ships are worth it with Warthog. I will say I hope somebody tries to play with that, because all the talk of basically the only faction that has now limited ships you can really use right now is Separatists. Um, and I will say somebody like Watt still works decently well, and Captain Seer works decently well with in the Separatist faction with no loadout point drones. So I wouldn't be surprised if, especially if this comes in at 3 points, to run this with a bunch of non-limiteds and see what you can get out of it.
Yeah, it's in a particularly tough place, right? I mean, there is a possibility that AMG could down the line swap up points just to mix it up and make generics a little more viable and make the other current like hotness in the Republic a little more expensive. So that way you would consider taking a generic over some of the named pilots that we currently have for the Republic. And then at that point, Warthog just increases in value, right? Because now you have an option with Warthog to have these generics go in and do very, very well. But for the time being, right now, assuming that we put him conservatively at 4 points, you're not going to get much value out of him currently with the generics that are available with it. I mean, the ones that would be even remotely considerable at a 4-point cost, you're looking maybe at the ARC 170s, or even the Y-Wings, the generic Y-Wings with maybe bombs. They could be good, but their value would be only defensive and in grabbing objectives. The other named pilots that are available right now, specifically, you take a look like at Barris, that could take missiles and still have the force or mods and stuff. They're just so much better defensively, and they also have 3 green dice, which just makes them a lot better overall, like being defensive and offensive on both ends, versus Warthog that just relies on just keeping your ships alive and maybe getting a shot off. So,
yep. So again, I would say this is a 3-point ship. I would like to see this as a 3-point ship, and I would like to be. I will be testing this with other generics to see if there's any viability to it.
yeah. The one thing I was surprised though about the chassis was the actual stat line itself. Now, when you take a look at the Republic Y-Wing and the Rebel Y-Wing, you notice the difference with the chassis, how the Republic Y-Wing had 1 more shield versus hull, whereas the Rebel version has more hull than shields. I was surprised that we actually didn't see a change in the stat line like this on this, because obviously you take a look at the wingspan of the Republic Y-Wing, and it does look to be a little more chunkier, a little more beefier, and I would expect that it would have at least 1 additional hull. I don't see a Z holding 3 shields, but I was expecting at least something to that effect. I am happy for the base ability to just boost, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different. So here's their dial. They have 2 K turns, a 3 and a 4. They have 1, 2, 3 straight and 2 blue banks, and then that is it for blues. So not very versatile ship there. If we head down and look at the Rebel version, it's the same. And I bet you it'll be the same when we look at the Scum version. It is.
Yep.
I will tell you this one. If you look at the after thing, you can be deployed by the Hound's Tooth. Nobody cares. Worthless. And then Rebels. I don't believe Rebels gives you anything.
No,
They
not
don't.
at all.
They don't have anything. So
They were the original Z95 to be introduced into X-Wing, and they've gotten no love ever since they came out.
So maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe AMG will go chronologically wise. The Republic ones shouldn't be that much better than Rebel ones. Like technically, Rebels.
They scrapped it for parts. That's why
I
it's crappy.
I guess I don't like that answer, but anyway. So if we look at all the other ones, the Z95 for Rebel has the 1 2-point ship, and then 3 3-point ships, and Scum has 1 1-point ship, which you don't almost ever run them. You could run that with Bosk if you had that extra point, actually. But mostly you're not. You're running Nadru at 2 points, and then they have the 3-point, two 3-point generics and Bosk, which I believe Bosk gets the same ability that he gets in the Y66 666. And I will tell you that Bosk is a beast to deal with because you are forced to deal with something that can split crits. Or kill the 3-point ship. Like it's like in Scum, and if I have a 3-point option, I have been putting Bosk in there, and he's actually been doing work. Because he doesn't care. He's gonna get his objective. You kill him, he's only worth 3 points. If he can get hits off, or crits off, he could just split them. I mean, 1 crit is 2 hits right there.
Yeah, especially when you get into range 1 and you have marksmanship on him. If all goes well, you can end up with 5 hits there onto a ship from a Z95, which is crazy.
Yeah, and so Bosk is actually really, really good, I think, in this meta. Minus the dial. It's the dial that holds you up. You're not doing anything, and you're either gonna die or kill something. Aggressively kill something. So we go back to Rebels, and like the difference between the Rebels. So we have Lieutenant Blount, and what is Blount's ability?
If you have a friendly ship at range 0 to 1 of the defender, they get to roll 1 additional die, and that's what makes him really good on the Rebels right now for a 2-point cost, because he's always going to be a 3-die attacker, basically.
Yep. And then you have Kraken at 3 points. And what is Kraken's ability?
His ability allows you to let a friendly ship perform a red action after he performs an attack, which at initiative, I believe is initiative 5. That's actually really good. That's a really high initiative that helps you either arc dodge somebody if you can reposition, or if you have a double reposition ship. That's just money right there, or just give somebody a mod that they need. So that's really strong for a 3-point ship.
Yeah. Oh, Wedge, you spent your focus already? Here, let me barrel roll you out of the way. Don't worry. Let me get you out of the other shots. Nobody has to shoot poor Wedge.
Or he only took a target lock and shot a torp. Okay, let's go ahead and focus and link it into a boost for you.
Yeah. Crazy. Kraken is really good too at 3 points. So, and I think people are running Kraken. Oh, and I think that's because people are looking at Scum and having a harder time building lists. Though I will say we found a couple of things that have worked really well and a couple of things that really suck. But I think Bosk is really going to be kind of a staple in there. If you need a 3-point ship filler, I like Bosk over Gamut Key almost any day of the week.
Yeah, Gamut is nice, but when you're, and that's the archetypes, the downfall of that particular archetype, right? That I've seen a lot recently on streams is like 2 heavy ships plus Gamut Key. In this particular meta with all these objective points, Gamut can be useful for certain things, but again, he's not pulling his weight in terms of like going out fast to grab objectives, and he's not also providing the offensive output to help like put the pressure on enemy squadrons. You basically have the two heavy hitters that can go out and be a menace, but if you play the correct way, you can keep one of the big guns out of the game or run away from them and just deal with one and try to burn them down. And then if you're going to face off against Gamiki, you're really not going to be afraid of a two-die gun coming at you from range and doing like any real significant amount of damage over time.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think that's, again, everybody's going to have their flavor and style. For me, it's I'm enjoying running Bosk over anything else right now in Scum in terms of cheap ships. The Mando, and we'll get to a Mando build later tonight because I think it's funny how everybody builds Mando out differently. And since this is going to be our fun cast, it's our Wednesday night fun cast that we missed on Sunday. And it's going to be more lighthearted. We're gonna build out Mando for shits and giggles. That's what we're gonna do. Because
All right.
I ran Mando last Friday, and the guy goes, "You can do that? You wait, you don't you have to clear your stress? Nope, don't have to clear my stress." I lost. Don't get me wrong, but it was still pretty fun.
Yeah.
Mando, a decked out Mando is insanely fun to run right now. All right. Anyway, so going back to predictions, I would say these are going to come in at 3 points. That's my theory. I don't see them making either of them a 4-point ship. I don't know. They did the fucking torrent, so I mean,
yeah, I still don't agree with the torrents being at 4 points for base. I think that they do deserve to come down a little bit to at least offer a different option. I really don't think there should be a 3-point Delta 7, especially with all those loadout points. I think that they should all be 4 at minimum because the ceiling for Delta 7 with loadout points versus a torrent is night and day. I'm sorry, but
yeah. Oh, you get a force. Oh, you can reposition. Oh, you could take it. You could go 5 straight, take an objective. Oh, okay. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and as we see, if you go back to the dial here, like even these guys, they don't have a 5 straight. So even with their boost, they're going 5. That's it. They can't take that center objective like a Jedi can. Now, how often do you leave your Jedi hanging out to dry? That's a different conversation, but you can do it. You 100% can do it. I do not.
Absolutely.
I don't do that. I've lost Barris enough times doing that to not do that anymore.
To know the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Barris, no mods. Oh, you one-shot at Barris? No. All right. The next ship we have is the Cad Bane ship, the Rogue class Starfighter. Now, I'm going to tell you, those models look amazing. I love them.
Yes.
I'm in, like, I just...
Now, if you were to get 2 of the same, which color would you want?
Well, I'm a Seppi player, so I'm not going to own just 2 of them. I'm going to own probably 6 of them, and I would want the gray ones so that I could paint them. They're easier to paint over than the green ones will be. Why are you looking to trade? Are you trying to bargain with me, JJ?
Maybe I'm saying, like, if you're looking to have 2 of the same color, I could probably help you out there.
Well, I had already informed my store to order me 3 packs, so I have 3 packs coming.
Dang,
when this comes out. Now, what's interesting here is you can see in this picture, there's an I-1, some sort of a droid, some sort of a blank 311, essentially droid. Mm-hmm. And then for Scum, I'm guessing that says Black Sun.
So the 311 droid makes me believe that this is a oh my gosh, I forgot the name of it. Basically, in episode 3, when they went to go rescue Palpatine, they're on the bridge and they're fighting the droids with the stick.
Oh, Magna Guards.
Yes, Magna Guards. Yes, I believe that's a Magna Guard pilot. Actually, that's in the Rogue class Starfighter.
Well, would probably say that seems logical to me. But you think that that's what the 311s mean, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think they're the Magna Guard droids.
Because that just looks like an I-1 though. So they would be. You think they're going to be I-1 Magna Guard droids? I think my theory is we're getting an IG droid. That's my theory.
That could
They're
work.
they're gonna port over some of those IG style droids from
Yeah.
Scum to Separatists. That's my theory.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, this is like a bounty hunter ship, so yeah, that would make sense to have an IG like type ship like that.
Yeah. But you could be right. I don't know. I'm amped up about this. So
now imagine if it has the ability to also sync up with any other IG pilot.
yeah, they all got network calculate.
No, I'm talking about on Scum, like IG-11 A and B and C.
Oh, you think they're gonna give us a crew?
Imagine.
Oh.
No, I mean as a native ability, or at least like a title.
Yeah, but when am I gonna run it with Scum?
It'll come out eventually, or an extended. You know.
I can't run them in Scum at the same time as you can't do that.
No, I'm saying if they have an IG-11 droid for Scum on the Rogue class Starfighter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
IG.
Yeah, that'd be spicy as hell. Yeah, give me that. Give me that. I just want one of them with all the abilities. Oh my god. Think about it this way. You could have a condition card where you this is so good. Just like kind of like where you with the Razor Crest title where you get to select your illicit, right? Now, think of giving me an IG-11, giving me 4 condition cards, A, B, C, and D, and you get to pick at the beginning of the round or the beginning of the game. Maybe we'll just do
like
game.
a ZAM.
You like a
system
ZAM.
phase. System phase,
yeah.
Yo,
my
that's
God.
great. That's
100%.
Great, yeah.
Give me that. AMG, listen in. Give me that shit right now. Oh, I'll tell you what. We're going to design those. That's what we're going to do. We're going to design that module, and that's what we're going to do. I want to do that. JJ, take a note. That's a project. It's a project that we're going to have to tackle. And too bad Charles wasn't here. He'd be excited. Maybe we could even get Charles to play Separatists. I think he owns one Separatist ship. Because he had to buy it to get the ZAM crew before they released it, that Scum pack.
yeah, I'm sure he does. I'm sure he absolutely has it.
All right, so take that note. We are going to spend one night and do that. We're going to design that module. And then maybe we'll see if we can get enough movement that other people will buy into that. And oh my God. I would love that. Charles, I can already hear Charles's voice saying, "Damn it, JJ, why are you giving Separatists more toys? They don't need more toys.
They're so underpowered, man."
I can hear it.
Right.
they are underpowered. What are you talking about? All right. So they only gave us one pilot, and they didn't give us a dial. So they gave us one pilot for Scum, and depending on points, but if this comes in at a 4 or 5 point ship, this is 100% worth the build. Cad Bane is a beast. So first off, you have focus to red boost. So you get your focus even if you fail your boost. Think about that. That's pretty amazing. Oh, focus before barrel roll? Yep. What other ship have we seen that be successful on?
A lot of different ships. Basically, any interceptor.
Yeah.
Yeah, the interceptors.
Yeah. As say Empire, this reeks of Empire right here, is what this says. I believe wasn't the bombers the same way, and there's like one other ship. There's only a few ships that have this, but the focus to boost or focus to barrel, or how about this? Fucking evade. You can evade to barrel roll. So good.
That's really good.
Oh my God.
That's really good.
And then they have a white target lock and a red native boost. So all they need is a mod slot to put engine upgrade. Easiest 3 points you could put onto that ship. But in reality, why are you never taking that focus token unless you're just being scummy? You know. there could be a reason, right? I mean, you could get coordinated, right? There could be logical reasons why you would not want to do that. For example, Fen Rao. I've done this with Fen Rao. Gamet says, "Oh, Fen, you don't have to get rid of your focus." Fen moves, clears his stress, and boosts only, and does not focus for the red. And now he's modded, and he was able to still reposition. So, this has an amazing stat line too. This is a 5 hull ship and 2 shield ship. This is a 7 health ship. Now, again, you're only rolling 2 green dice, but still, this ship has more health than a hyena bomber, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy. To me, this is crazy. Like, this ship is you're gonna have to focus fire to take that ship off the board.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a really hefty ship to try to take down with those 2 of 8 dice and 7 health. I mean, think about it. This is 1 less away than a B wing with 1 more green die to take care of. I'm really interested to see what kind of loadout they're going to give this because yes, it has 2 red dice, but if this thing can carry ordnance like missiles or even torps, this is going to be a really good heavy hitter. To go in and start taking out some ships. Like this is going to be really good.
Yeah, or cannon slots. Think about it. If it had a cannon slot, or hell, they're putting this in the Separatists. If they are going to put cannon slots, what's the probability we're going to get a double cannon slot on this ship? Pretty high, in my opinion.
I mean, hell, I'll be happy with just HLC, right? Because you want to take advantage of the bullseye anyway with dead to rights. I hit you from range 3 with the HLC, and you can't spend tokens to modify your greens. Good luck.
Okay, yeah, that's even crazier. Yep. So his ability. So this is Cad Bane's natural ability. After you perform an attack that hits, you can spend 2 energy to transfer 1 of your non-lock red or orange tokens to the defender. No range. So you could be at range 3 or at range 1. All it has to do is hit. So there's that. Now, your dead to right says, while you perform the attack, if the defender is in your bullseye, defense dice cannot be modified using green tokens. That is insane as a native ability. That is a native ability, at least in Scum, and that's crazy. That, like, oh my god, like, M3As better come down to, like, 2 to 3 points. Like, I mean, this just out-trumps an M3A every day of the week. Even at 5 points, I would take this ship here. I would take Cad Bane. I'll take Cad Bane at 5 points. No questions asked. I would almost consider, depending on loadout, paying 6 points for this fucker. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, the best part is they release this and it says you can transfer it to the defender. So, oh my god. Can you imagine the shenanigans? I'm going to tractor myself into bullseye. So let's say you arc dodge me. And I guess I keep thinking Scum because I'm hoping Cad Bane comes out in Separatists, right? But think about Unkar Plut throwing that thing, Ketsu, somebody that can throw a tractor token onto Cad Bane, reposition him after everybody's moved. He now gets a bullseye on you. Your focus and evade mean poop at all. It don't mean anything. You're out of luck. And on top of that, he's going to give you the tractor token after he hits you. So
it gets even better when you factor in swarm tactics on an initiative 6 or initiative 5 pilot that can bring them up to shoot first at that initiative, and initiative matches one of your higher ones, and then pass off that tractor token to the ship that you just shot with Cad Bane, and now the rest of your ships now get that same shot onto that tractor ship.
Oh my god, think about it this way. You can run Dengar with that stupid R2K5 droid that lets you shoot yourself, and you can put a tractor beam on Dengar.
Yes.
Oh my god, the shenanigans with this is just insane. The first thing I'm going to do, 100%, is I'm going to 100% just tractor. Any way I can figure out how to tractor Cad Bane, I'm going to tractor him. I'm going to move him closer into bullseye, and then I'm going to give the bullseye away. I'm going to give the tractor token away. That is so dirty. That is so scummy.
Yeah.
Ugh. How about this? I
Think
hope
about it,
to.
like this ability basically should have been what Ensnare should have been from the get-go, and not make it cost so much, because it's a charge-based ability, right? You can only do it every 2 turns with his charges, and in especially with the tractors and stuff, you just pass this on constantly, over to other people. Or even think about static discharge veins, right? If you could put it onto this particular ship as well, just pass off your ion tokens or your stress off to another ship afterwards. Yeah, I mean, it's really great. It's really good.
Yeah, I was thinking about downsizing my collection to only keep a few factions, but when they release shit like this, it's really hard to want to get rid of
Yeah,
my scum faction, you know?
yeah, exactly. I keep it all, man, because no one's really gone. Eventually, points change and ships come back, and yeah, man, it's gonna be so good. I'm telling you, it's
Oh,
gonna be so great. Thank you, 207 Squadron, for rating. Appreciate you guys.
yeah. Welcome to Planning Phase Syndicate. Okay, JJ, think about this. So I have a question. Do you think Cad Bane's gonna appear in Separatists? So let's start there.
Yes, I absolutely do think that Cad Bane will appear in Separatists, mainly
Because
because we've already seen Django, and with Django there, he wasn't truly part of the Separatists, per se, like on the front lines with them. He basically worked as a mercenary. I would say the same thing with Cad Bane. He was hired by Count Dooku to do a few jobs and stuff. So yeah, I would absolutely expect him to be on Separatists. Now, will he have the same ability? I don't think so. I think yes, you might have something different, but it'll be good to see what they breed him with.
yeah, I would be interested. That was my second question: is do you think he's gonna have the same ability, or do you think they're gonna give him a unique ability based on the faction he's in?
I think that they could potentially make him kind of like a Captain Nim type pilot for the Separatists. Make him like have some sort of effect with bombs.
All right, I could see that. I mean, which is funny they're not doing that in Scum though, because you have Cad Bane crew and Scum for that, but not in Separatists at all.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if I could get Cad Bane crew in Separatists? Mm,
Do
give
you
that to
think that
me.
the ship will come with a crew slot?
Yeah, I'm hoping it does. Actually, I don't know. God, that's a good question. No, I don't think they're gonna give it a crew slot because that would be dirty as shit. And you'd have to increase the squad points for that. Like, oh no, here's a 5-point crew carrying Cat Bane. Oh my god. But yes, so I would give it a 40% chance we're gonna see a crew slot for this ship.
So
40%
the other
chance.
the other question is, do you think we'll see the appearance of Rocco Hardine? And if you're not familiar with that character, there was a sub series or a subplot in the Clone Wars animated series where Obi-Wan Kenobi went undercover to stop a separatist plot with Cad Bane, and his alter ego or his undercover name was Rocco Hardine. So imagine a force sensitive scum pilot or separatist pilot like that
Uh,
on
mm,
this Starfighter.
Is it going to be Scum or Separatist though?
It could be either. I mean, I would say separatist, honestly, but I mean,
Okay.
it could go either way.
Yuck. I do not like that. No. I hope they do not.
This,
I'll be honest. I hope they do not give. I hope they do not give a crew slot. And yes, MJ. Yes, like oh my god, can you imagine having Zam on in
yeah,
either faction? It doesn't matter what faction you pick. You either faction, you just getting Zam on that little oh my and that thing's maneuverable. At least from what we know, it's maneuverable. Ugh. Mm.
yeah, really good.
I'm excited. And the pictures excite me, right? You can see here. I'm gonna give it a 99% chance we're gonna get Cad Bane and Separatists. Um, that's my take. 99% chance we'll get Cad Bane and Separatists. For the pure fact that they paired this together. So, um, and they would be pretty bloody stupid if they didn't. As for the crew slot, I think it's less than a 40% chance that we'll see crew. I I don't know though. I don't know, man. Like that would be so bad if you got crew on there. But I mean,
Yeah.
he
Oh, well, I
has
mean,
he has room for
the other
crew.
part of it, though, they can make certain chassis have it, and then other chassis have an extra mod slot instead of a crew. Like they could make each individual pilot different like that, right? Because you don't
Yeah,
have to apply
true.
the same upgrade across the board. So
Yeah, and if you watch Bad Batch, right, spoiler alert, but Cad Bane has crew on there. He has a little droid he brings with him, you know.
mhm.
Now maybe he won't have crew, right? Oh, can you imagine if they could take the child on there?
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
that would be
Oh
good too. Oof.
yeah.
All right, we better stop because it's going to get really bad here in a minute. All right, let's move
All
on.
right.
The next thing I wanted to talk about was JJ submitted, and they finally answered us on the Razor Crest title. So it is official, folks. Excuse me. Official. What the Razor Crest title can and cannot do. Um, JJ asked, do you get the third illicit, or does it only apply to one of the two illicit upgrades on the ship? Now, they didn't give you a super great answer, but they did say you don't get an additional illicit. You get two. So you can
Yeah,
equip
and
one, and the other one is a mystery.
yeah.
That's it.
So there's a couple of things that comes with this. So the reason why I believe they responded to this particularly, right, is to future-proof the ruling. There could come a time when they do a rebalance on points and upgrades that they could just reduce the Razor Crest illicit slots down to just one illicit slot. So to future-proof this particular ruling for it, because I did specifically ask for a third illicit slot because the Razor Crest currently has two illicit slots. With the wording of this particular ruling, if they ever do reduce it down to just one, this would also mean that the Razor Crest title does not give you a second slot in that particular instance that for there. The other thing that this helps clarify is just the tactics that you can use for this, right? So you can bring any type of illicit slot in a tournament here, and you can change it in between because it is a hidden upgrade that can be added on as if it was being added on during setup for this. So that gives you options, flexibilities. I'm putting on different illicit upgrades on the Razor Crest depending on what you're seeing on the board, and then you can reveal it at a later time. Typically, what I've been using it for the last few times that I've been playing with the Razor Crest with the title, usually false transponder codes. I can flip it on a turn where I want to make sure that I'm going to jam somebody, so that way they don't preemptively try to wipe out my false transponder codes and use it that way. And it's been pretty good success, I would say.
Awesome. Yes, so stop giving away my list. Damn it. But yes, so okay, so officially we get one illicit slot and we get to equip an additional one that is
Mhm.
native that will be hidden from view, which 90% of the time 90% of the time it's just the, you know, contraband cybernetics. But I will tell you, one time I took contraband cybernetics and left it there, and then took false transponder codes as the extra upgrade, because being the mystery one, especially when you're playing against these Razor Crests and you know that they're going to be taking target locks, you just reveal it and be like, oh, no target lock for you? Sucks to be you, buddy. Way to waste your
Honestly,
Mandalorian optics.
I honestly want, just for funsies, I want to run it on a Q9 with the IG-11 crew, right? The self-destruct bot, and then I'll hide my dead man switch. So that way, if I know that the explosion is coming on the turn that it's gonna come and be like, oh look, dead man switch. So now everybody takes 2 crits. That'll be great.
All right, so I thought it would be fun. I think it will be fun, and maybe you'll disagree with me, JJ, but I feel it would be fun is if we built out some Razor Crest, a few of them, in
Yeah,
different
sure.
ways. I just really enjoy building Razor Crests, and um, I've
Yeah,
had a
I've
lot of
actually
fun playing with it
yeah.
personally.
Yeah, me too. I've definitely had a lot of fun playing with the Razor Crest, both with Q9 and Mando, and just equipping it out with different loadouts for it. I want to give the technically not generic, but the 2-pip mining guild pilots a try as well, because I think that their abilities are nice as well. for what they offer. Although the price kind of throws me off a bit. But yeah, I definitely like the Razor Crest a lot. It's a really fun ship to fly.
Yep. So for Mando, so here's where the craziness comes in. I am putting Jabba the Hutt on Mando.
Jabba.
I am putting Jabba, auto blasters, obviously the title, then either overtune modulators, depending on, kind of the build, or tracking fob. Though I found tracking fob has not been as good as I thought it would be. After actually testing it out. I also really like Babu Fink for it, but it does not work as well with the whole Jabba title, but you can use it. It can kind of, if you don't need to do the K-churns or don't need to do all the different crazy shenanigans, you can use him. But I typically have been running either overtuned or tracking fob on him. Right, so then my hidden illicit is almost always contraband. I have been running Greedito on him.
Okay.
Now I have 5 points left. I have been playing with Lone Wolf, but it hasn't worked really well. I have typically been putting Fearless on him. And then if you just want to be a dick, you could put Notorious. Which, if the defender is attacking is in your fire arc, you can spend it and give them a strain token. I've also been running the elusive and on top of or the predator. So that's kind of been my build. And the idea here, right, is the tracking fob is you're hoping that they're going to put it on a ship that's worth enough money, right? If they don't, it's really kind of worthless. But the idea here is I could spend Jabba. So I go in, I can do these different things with it. Technically, I have an extra 3 points I'm giving up. So I could put Mando Optics. Right, yeah, I could put Clan Training. No, I could put Mando Optics. Yeah, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I could put, I don't know why I can't put it on there. Okay, it should be able to go on there. You could put, I'm sorry, you got to drop Predator. That's right. I have been doing either dropping Predator and running Mando Optics. You could drop Clan, that fob if you want, and to run Clan Training. And that's kind of the other thing I had been doing. You don't get your second illicit, but whatever. That's kind of, again, that's up to you. I don't like Clan Training personally myself. I don't find it useful at all. Just personally, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be able to get rid of that stress eventually.
You don't
without L3, it's difficult with that particular chassis.
But you're right. But here's the deal. So we have 5 to 6 rounds, right? That we play. That's it. We're only playing 5 to 6 rounds, JJ. Typically, what I'm doing is I'm taking the Mandalorian in. You get 1 engagement, and then the shenanigans start. You do your maneuver, pop your contraband, right? The best part is his red maneuvers are also a stop, 1 hards, and 3 hards, 2 talons, and a 5K. You are the most unpredictable ship in the game right here, hands down. And Jabba allows you for 4 turns to never worry about stress. I had 8 stress on my Mandalorian. And get this, and it's because you can do the red barrel roll. So
yeah,
you can do your maneuvers, get your Mandalorian optics out, and that doesn't care if you have stress or not. Get your target lock, flip your contraband, do your shenanigans, and I'll tell you what is funny because the guy I played last Friday, he thought my Mando, because he saw the contraband, he thought my Mando was going to do a 5K. I did a 1 hard barrel roll and still caught his ship with my auto blaster shot. It
Oh,
wasn't in bullseye, unfortunately, but it was behind him at range 1 with Fearless. Say, hey, Temin, remember when you had 8 health? You no longer have 8 health. You now have 4 health. That's what you have. Thank you. Have a
oh,
nice life, Temin.
ooh, that's tough. Oh, that's good.
Yes. The other thing you can do with this, if you don't want the training fob, right? You could drop Mando Optics and your training fob and go to fucking outmaneuver. You 100% can put outmaneuver on there, and then you could either put false transponder codes. You can put hot shot tail blasters, so you can still shoot
Yeah,
behind you if you want. Um, you could put contraband cybernetics if you wanted, or overtune modulators. There's like it's
there's a lot.
insane what
Yeah,
you
that's
can do.
crazy. Yeah,
So what's your Mando build?
my current Mando build is something that I'm still working the kinks out in terms of actually playing it because I think it has a really high ceiling. So I start them off with Trick Shot, then Enduring, and then Kira with Perceptive Copilot, Greedo Gunner. I'll let you catch up. Trick Shot. Kira Crew, Perceptive Copilots, Greedo Gunner, Contraband Cybernetics, Overtune Modulators, Mandalorian Optics, and then the title.
You still got 3 points here.
Let me see what you're missing here.
Well, contraband doesn't count for 3. Remember, it's free.
Oh yeah, you're right. It does count for free. Yeah, you're right. So let's see. So then you could just drop Greedo and just put in Auto Blaster.
There you go. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, a little
Now,
bit different, but still
ask
hits
you
really good.
how well that did against my bombs. That's all I'm just gonna ask you how well it did against.
Well, when you're rolling, 100 out of 100 on all the rolls, like yeah, that hurts.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
But essentially, especially for like area control objectives, if you can place a rock just slightly between the two objectives and then just have the Mando park in between the two, you can essentially keep them there for 2 rounds if you need to, and as long as you have 2 enemies like staring you down, you get that ability triggering both on offense and defense. Perceptive Copilot, really good to help you to get the focus off on the first shot and then have a focus on the defensive shot, with Mando providing you that extra focus with his ability, and just doing a lot of work. And then the really nice combo of Kira and the Mandalorian Optics. If you need to go onto a rock or travel past a rock, you can dial in your maneuver, and then on system phase, just grab the lock with Mandalorian Optics and just ignore it, and you can travel through safe and sound, and your opponent be none the wiser.
Yep. JJ tried to do a full-out stop with his Mando and behind a rock one time, and then the other time you landed on the rock and bumped into my droid, which was very tasty to drop a cluster mine on you. God, I love that so much.
Yeah, that hurt. All 6 hits on those 3 cluster mines. Holy crap, that hurt.
I love that. I like that. That was I think we recorded that, didn't we? Didn't I play you on stream?
It was on NCX. Yeah, it was on NCX.
Yeah, so go check out Greg's stream.
Yeah, absolutely.
And watch me kill and murder JJ. You were murdered. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever run through 4 cluster mines in a single turn with Q9 before. That was crazy. That was completely insane. Rolling what was it, 8 dice for bombs in a single move. My goodness, that was just insane.
You still live though. You know that, right?
Yeah. I took only 3 hits out of that, but man, there were other bombs though. Those were like that was 8 for 8.
Ugh. Man, it's exciting. I like that. I like when you I like when you lose like that. So
It was a good game. It was definitely a great game.
all right. So I thought we would let's this we're gonna do this. We're gonna wrap the show up with talking about Kyber Cup, right? That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
I think that's where we're gonna end. Is we're gonna end on Kyber Cup and have a Kyber Cup discussion. That's what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna let JJ go ahead and run down what Kyber Cup actually is, how you can sign up for it, and kind of go over some of the rules real quick. Sorry, my kid. I gotta go say goodnight to my kid real quick.
Yep, sure. No worries.
But I'll be back in like 2 seconds. If you want to go ahead and start going over them, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Kyber Cup is going to be an online event here, hosted over by the team from Hexile Squadron. You have Scott leading this particular event here for Kyber Cup. The signups are open currently right now for a Kyber Cup. You can go in on their site and sign in on TTT to be part of this event here. It's going to be going on from the 1st of May all the way out to July 1st, using the standard format only, not extended. And it will have the standard 75-minute 12-round matches, with the first 5 rounds being a Swiss cut. Now, you are only playing 1 round per week, and the rounds are going to be from Monday through Sunday. And at the beginning of each round, they will announce which scenario is going to be for that particular week. And they're going to be chosen at random for that particular event, and they'll post it on their server there as well. So if you guys haven't checked them out and you want to participate, it's a really fun tourney. The team from Hexile had posted that they've already been, they've received so many donations to fund prizes, and really good prizes, especially for Top Cut. So definitely join. It's going to be a lot of fun if you guys can make it over there. Now, in terms of after the Swiss, they will have a graduated cut, meaning that all 401s or better records will advance on to the top cut for Kyber Cup, and a list will be locked for that event. Now, in terms of the event itself, it's going to be pretty standard in terms of like how you'll be interacting with the game in terms of standard play. If you've been playing any standard tourneys, like in person or online at TTS, very simple. You're playing a standard match, meaning with objectives, and you either go until the first player reaches 20 points, or the timer ends, and whoever has the highest amount of points goes over there, and then they'll go on from there. Now, if you haven't been to one of these events before, this is a really good place to test out like really good competitive lists. It's a lot of fun. I've participated in I believe 3 of these events here for Kyber Cup in the past. The team is always really good with communication, and it's a lot of fun to go up and try to test your mettle against some of these really well-known players that have done really well. And hey, you never know, you might actually do really well and maybe win some prizes and bring it on home.
Yeah, and I think that's like, for me, that's the big thing, right? You know, like this is online, so this allows us to play. They don't have a structured format in terms of when you have to play, so like you could pick your game at almost any point. With it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So in terms of like list for this event, what do you have any like tendencies on what the faction you're thinking about playing for Kyber Cup?
For me,
Yeah.
well, that's pretty easy. I'm probably going to run Separatist. I am on the fence of running my FO list that I really like, because I do have a FO list that I played quite a bit. And I don't know if you want me to go through them or bring them up or whatever, but we
Yeah,
could do
let's
that.
bring them up. While you're working on that, you could bring up mine. Let's start with my rebel list. Now, this is something that I've been working on for a little bit, because at first I wasn't really comfortable with this particular list, but I actually, in testing on my own here, I've actually grown a little bit fond to it. It's very beefy. This one is a 4 Arquin semi list for the Rebellion here, using all the name pilots here. So the first one here, we have Ibit Stam with Chopper and Leia. Ibit Stam's ability allows him to, after he fully executes a maneuver, if he's stressed, he can roll one attack die and remove the stress on a hit or crit result. So he can possibly do those K turns or the hard threes and still get an action. In my testing with him back when I was trying out for Adepticon, just having the ability to go in hard and like take an objective with a big ship like this really works well. Chopper also works really well here as well in case you end up bumping or blocking another ship. Hey Nabi, hey, good to see you again too, my friend. Chopper giving you the ability to perform an action even while stressed. This really helps you to get that objective point when you're doing that hard turn whenever Leia is not active. The other Arc 170 here is Garvin Dre's. His ability allows him to, after he spends a focus token, to pass it on to another ship at range 1 to 3 and have them gain the token. I have him equipped out with Predator, Zebra Aurelius, which allows him to spend the focus at range 0 shots, which is huge for Garvin Dre's. And then Perceptive Co-Pilot, so that way you can have 2 of them, one for offense and one for defense. Next one is Shara Bay with Bay's Malbus, Ursa Wren, and R3 Astromech, just really capitalizing on her ability to add results with target locks. If she gets target locked with on her ship, she can use Ursa Wren to lock another ship and maintain 2 different target locks with R3. And then if she gets into range, close range with Bay's Malbus, she can make it a red focus and take multiple focus tokens up to 3 with her with that crew, making her really deadly up close and personal for this chassis. And then to round out the list, Nora Wexley in the Arc 170, kitting her out with Elusive, Magma Yarrow, C3PO, Veteran Tail Gunner, and Tactical Scrambler, giving her a really nice double tap, especially if she's going to be going into close range. Probably some ships going on behind her. She can shoot twice, one out the front, one out the back. C3PO and Nora Wexley is incredible because you have the potential of getting her free evade from her ability. If you guess correctly with C3PO and get 1 evade, he adds an evade result. So at range 1 or 0, you get a possible 3 evades on an Arc 170, which makes her super tanky, especially if you're getting shot from like a APT or something. She is really tough to take down. And then on top of that, she gets a target lock on you after the fact. So she's just fantastic. And if you decide that she's at range 0 and you're going to just shoot past her to shoot any one of her friends, Tactical Scrambler comes into play, giving my friendlies an extra green buy.
Yeah, and I would say, I think here the only difference here is you don't have any of the hull upgrades. But you're at 9 hull. You have 36 health, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they will have to focus fire to take you down.
Yeah.
And without that, I don't know. Without that, there's nothing. So,
yeah.
I will say I'm still not super impressed with Leia, but I can understand why you would want that on there. Leia is a decently powerful piece. I don't know what you would use for that other 7 points personally, unless you were adding a Veteran Tail Gunner to all of them. Because I think you can add.
Yeah.
Can you add that to all of them?
So the value in Leia for the Arc 170s is the ability to start turn 1 with the 4 straight. Or if you're starting slow and you need to get behind the enemy ship, using Leia to do the K turns, or if you're coming in at an angle to do the hard threes, Leia is really good at opening up the dials for the Arc 170, so that way they can still make those turns and get the objectives if they need to for like actions, or to get those mods or repositions if they need to at those times. So that's typically the use that I have for Leia for these particular ships.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because the 4K is really good on them as well as the 4 straight. So having that option on an Arc 170 with a big medium base like this, you really get to move around the board. So yeah, definitely.
All right. And then the other list you were looking at?
The other one here is a first order list. Let me pull that one up here. So this is one that I've been working on for some time, just working on different variations of it, but I think I've settled on this one here. So this one's a 5-ship list, kind of common to what's been flown so far, but I like this particular flavor for it. So this one is starting off with Gideon Hask in the She Shuttle class. So with Trial Tradition, Fanatical Commander Pyre, and Agent Terex. Um, we have 2 TIE SF fighters. First one is Phasma with Fanatical Fire Control System, Iron Missiles, and Special Forces Gunner. Next up is Backdraft with Fanatical Fire Control System, Concussion Missiles, and DT-798. Ember with Fanatical, Proud Tradition, and Hull Upgrade. And then Nightfall in the TIE Whisper with Predator, Ion Missiles, Pattern Analyzer, and Sensor Scramblers. Now, the reason why I went with this particular loadout for Gideon is Commander Pyre. On turn 1, you can add 2 stress to enemy ship at startup. Typically, you're going to target the ship that can go the fastest for your enemy, that likes to zoom in and try to grab an objective. If they're double stressed, they're not going to be able to get rid of those 2 stresses and deny them that possible objective claim for it. And then Agent Terex allows at least a calculate to go out to one of the ships that's going to either have a shot either with a missile, or is going to take multiple shots and have that extra mod over there, and then that just keeps them in. Now, having Proud Tradition and Fanatical on Gideon Hask, if they decide to start shooting at them, really good to do a full stop, especially if you're doing like area control, get that focus token and still have Fanatical to mod for offense, and then that focus token for defense, really helping out your list. And then Phasma, really, really great underutilized ship for the First Order, specifically with the salvage mission objective, because she can pass off a critical result over to another ship that prevents her from losing, and we're talking just a single crit, of course, but that prevents her from losing the cargo on her if she's shot, because she can pass off that result to somebody else and may have them suffer the result of that crit. And then Backdraft with DT-798. I chose that particular gunner because he can shoot first, give a strain to the enemy that he's looking at, and then get a reroll off of that, and then have another shot, follow-up shot either by Ember, who can force them to not spend focus or calculate tokens on offense while he's taking a shot, and really just snowball on that particular ability. So.
Yep. And I have a similar FO build. Mine's slightly different. I think Gideon Hask personally is like the bee's knees when it comes to this stuff. Just being able to take Prior, and I bet you Prior will go up in price.
Yeah.
Because I think Prior was a mistake on their behalf, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think they missed that, but being able when you can, being able to set that up, like that's just so good. Like so insanely good. You like there is nothing better than being able to say, I want to pick whatever ship I want and stress it. And that's 2 turns down. So they're gonna have to slow roll to keep Gideon in line. Or Gideon's just gonna be stressed to hell, and you're gonna get he's not gonna be effective in anything he does.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we'll go with my separate. Well, all right. I'll bring in my FO list. My FO list is similar but different. Come on, computer. So this is mine. My Gideon is built the exact same way. I still find that the Fanatical doesn't do anything Proud Tradition typically does, but Fanatical seems kind of pointless on him. But you only have 1 point, so really, what are you going to take unless you take biohex codes?
Yeah.
So I found Fanatical is fine for the 1 point. My Ember is built the same way. I will say that I have dropped Proud Tradition in the past and put Predator on Ember, and I like that as well. My Whisper is built a little bit different. I run Fanatical and outmaneuver with cluster missile, sensor scramblers, and enhanced jamming suites, and I run that with Whirlwind, which Whirlwind says you gain a focus token before you engage, right? So you don't have to use your action. You can use it to take the target lock, right? Your goal is to somewhat outmaneuver them. And then cluster missiles lets you get 2 shots off, and you get mods, kind of mods on both shots.
Okay.
I
Now,
had
for Whirlwind's ability, do you have to be in an opponent's arc, or do you just have to have him in your arc? I forgot.
yeah. Before you engage, you remove any number of jam tokens and then gain 1 focus for every ship in your front arc.
Oh, so yeah, so it's in his arc. Wow, yeah, that's actually
Yes.
really strong. I like that.
Yes.
Okay.
This is the list, almost identical. I didn't have outmaneuver. I had different upgrade on him. But this is what I played in the revamped tournament for Gold Squadron at Adepticon. This is the list, almost identical list I ran. And I found cluster missiles, even though they don't always hit as hard, were still really good. I want a way to be able to churn my prockets back on a second time, because the guy I played against, one of the guys ran a similar list with prockets on his whirlwind or on his nightfall, which I thought was really good too. Like that's pretty tasty as well. But his prockets didn't do enough damage that one round that he got him off to, which cost him the game, in my opinion. You know,
Okay.
in terms of the damage race, but they can be really good. With Whirlwind, it's better than Nightfall though, because with Whirlwind, you're getting free focuses, and I don't care he's an I3. it's still good. I had 3 focuses out there almost every time. You know, the only thing it suffers against is higher initiative ships. But then I ran Lieutenant Revis, obviously naked. Malaris with cluster missiles, essentially because Malaris just spends the charge and then can shoot the clusters. And what I found in my testing is that the majority of people always go after Malaris first, almost every time. They just go to erase them off the board, and which is fine, right? It's 3 points. Have my 3
you're
points,
not gonna miss that. Yeah, exactly.
And then I run Null because Null has swarm tactics. So I can run Null either with Malaris, Null with Whirlwind, Null with Gideon. Null just does whatever. And so now you have to make a decision. Are you going to try to kill Null? Are you going to try to damage it so that it can't use swarm tactics? Like you have to make, like, that's at least 1 to 2 shots. You have to go into Null. And so I usually just leave him back.
He has 6 like upgrade points, right? That you can put on him. You should put Fanatical on him.
Oh,
too.
yeah. Yep. You're right.
Yeah,
you can put Fanatical.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yep. For some reason, I thought Swarm Tactics was 6 points. I don't know why. So there you go. I gave up 3 points. You're right. You could put Fanatical. You can you could put Fanatical on them. I don't think that you could put automatic targeting priority if you really wanted to.
I see. Here's the problem with automated targeting priority. It's just because at I7 technically you have such a greater chance of being blocked with the TIE FO dial that you're forced to take that range 0 shot no matter what. So it kind of lowers your ability to be effective with it. I mean, granted, the free calculate is great, and later shots. But typically, you don't want to aim to miss just so you can get the benefit of the free calculate. So
yeah, and you're right. Fanatical would probably be better, or marksmanship. You could do marksmanship on them too. The one thing this list lacks is crits. I will 100% admit that. And you could drop sensor scramblers and go to mag pulse if you wanted. Both of them could be effective. Again, I ran the cluster missiles only for the double shots. I can't tell you that that's the way to go though, because I have found that this list is somewhat of a control list, and it's weird in its controlledness because it doesn't control you with bombs. It's controlling you with bodies and forcing you to pick target priority. because every one of these ships can go out and get objectives and be defensive. Every
Yeah.
one of them. So you have to really pick. So if you leave Whirlwind alone, Whirlwind's going to destroy you. If you leave the one you can leave alone really is Gideon, but Gideon's going to be coordinating almost every turn. That's what Gideon does. He's going to coordinate, and then he's going to hope that once you start putting damage into ships, you can use his ability.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and Gideon doesn't care if Gideon lands on a rock or a thing, or a thing, a rock or a debris cloud all the time, because yeah, he loses his coordinate 100%, but at the same token, you're still getting the Gideon effect once you hit damaged ships.
Yeah,
and that's what everybody misses. Gideon is insanely good once you start damaging ships.
Yeah,
like, really, really good. Very big. In my opinion, it's a sleeper.
He bolsters the TIE Whispers a lot too, because it makes them not have to constantly turn the bullseye towards their opponent. If they start having damage cards on them, they could simply fly past them, rotate their arc, and now they're having that 3 dice shot out the back towards that damaged ship, and getting pretty good offense out the back. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, and I can shoot cluster missiles out my ass too, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. Really good.
The ability for Whirlwind, is it front arc or is it just arc, firing arc?
It is front arc. So
okay.
You won't get, if you fly past, you will not get the focus tokens.
Yeah.
So most of the time you're doing the weird turnaround maneuvers. But they have 1 hards on them. I mean, they're very effing versatile. Like, really good. And you don't have to take the target lock. So you don't have to shoot the cluster missiles. If you're in a bind, 1 hard, barrel roll, jam. Have fun, buddy. You know?
Or if you manage to find points to put in, like, targeting computer, or not targeting computer, the tech slot, targeting synchronizer, I think, or I forget the name of it, where you could just ignore the requirement and just shoot 2 cluster missiles anyway, because as long as you have one of them locked, you can get them off. That's pretty good.
Yeah. You can drop out maneuver, and you can put the, like you said, targeting synchronizer.
No, it would be on a different ship other than Whirlwind.
I see what you're saying. Okay, you would probably put it. You probably put it on Gideon.
No, I would consider no, honestly.
Oh, I don't know. I love the swarm tactics ban though. That swarm tactics on him at I-7 is so totes. I mean, okay, especially depending, because your opening engagement can be insanely strong, because you can literally take him and Whirlwind together, and now Whirlwind's an I-7. So if somebody comes in and you want to run them into the center,
you're getting that first shot off. Two shots off, actually.
At I-7. And on top of that, you could go get the objective if they get it already. So if it's the tactical scrambler crap where you have to do the action to get it, they could take it. You could just take it back. And then Whirlwind, and if you're there in front of Whirlwind, he's an I-7, he engages, gets his fucking focus tokens.
Yep.
And now he's defensively modded. I don't know. Swarm tactics it's that middle finger to the opponent. That's what I feel. It's just like a middle finger. But all right, my last list. I don't want to spend hours talking. My last list is I have 2 different builds. Well, I actually have 3 different builds technically for this. This is the first build. I have only played this build once, but essentially I get 3 vultures, 3 bombers, all with counter nets and cluster mines, which, by the way, I don't own 3 cluster mines. I only own 2.
You should have told me. I would have sent you, like, I have like 5 of them. I can send you some.
Do you have cards too for them? Because that's what I'm missing too. Like, I don't know what
cards
pack they come in.
To my knowledge, just the bomb pack.
Yeah, which I don't really want to buy 3 of those, but I think I'm going to have to. I feel the need.
Yeah, I mean, I wish they had alt arts, but yeah, it's just odd to see that, especially with some of the newer bomber ships that have come out, like the hyenas and stuff like that, to not see the cluster mines come with them. It's just really odd not to see them out.
Hey, that's a good idea for an alt art card, actually.
Hey, we might see them on the road class. Just saying, you never know.
All right, so put that as a note, JJ. We should talk about that. Maybe we should make cluster mine alt art cards.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, sorry. And then
We'll
I'm
do
running
it with you dropping on the Razor Crest.
maybe dropping it on the Razor Crest. All right, fine. All right, fuck it. We'll test that. I've never done that, but we'll test it. Can that charge be recovered?
No, we cannot.
No. Okay. So I can't job it. That's too bad.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Look, I've already got an idea for a visual with this, that I want a hyena bomber dropping cluster mines on top of a Jedi. That's what I want. I want to see that that we're gonna make that happen. I don't care how we do this. I don't care how much money this costs me. I get my taxes back
great.
next week.
Especially
I'm investing
on a Delta 7. I want to see it done on a Delta 7 just because. Yes. We'll leave the A-Wings alone for now. It's fine.
I don't care about A-Wings. I literally want to see it on the Jedi. Man, you got me fired up. I'm ready to do this all art shit. All right,
let's do it.
Anyway, so you're essentially running a 7-ship list. And by the way, once you run Separatists differently, they're not as bad as I thought they were. As much shit as I talked, they are not as bad as I thought they were. You have to run Separatists differently than we used to. You just do. But essentially, I can run Grievous and 3 bombers and 3 droids, and it's pretty good. And you either focus on Grievous, or Grievous goes and does whatever Grievous wants to do. He goes, takes objectives, and gets rerolls. He goes after you, shoots 3 to 4 dice to your 2 green dice, or 1 sometimes. Or if you're a B-Wing 0. And then my bombers are just going and placing up my objectives and saying, here I am, and I'm going to stay here and come kill me. And then the droids are going with the bombers in each different direction. That is one build. You can drop Grievous and put a Gauntlet Fighter, which is the more common thing I've been doing, probably because the Gauntlet Fighter. And you could put Bo in here.
That's good.
Now with Bo, essentially what you're doing, you could give her the title if you want. You get the extra, you lose a mod slot though, but you get an extra crew slot. Then you could put on Mando Optics, which I think is mandatory. Veteran Gunner, because it's 2 points, and I feel that's almost a mandatory piece for those things. Now you have all sorts of different options, right? You have to also drop a droid. You have all sorts of different options you can kind of go with here. You can put on Death Watch Commandos, which I found okay success with them. They don't put a lot of offense out, and you cannot shoot them early. I will warn you ahead of time. You cannot shoot them early. Now, you can add another crew in here, right? If that's what you really want to do, by adding, dropping this and adding Drop Seat Bay, which adds another crew slot. And then you could put your Pre-Vizsla, which allows you to coordinate to them. I don't like this. I did not find this very viable, personally. And what I actually found more viable was when I run the Mando Optics, drop my commandos, and I put Perceptive Copilot. And everybody's going to laugh, but barrage rockets. And then I put my marksmanship on here. Barrage rockets, though, allow you, if you get the bullseye lined up, to shoot a lot more dice, right? And get your re-rolls for free. Yeah. So you don't need target locks. Barrage rockets also deny you or deny your opponent the defensive
Range
ability.
3. Yeah.
I
The range 3
have
of this. Yeah.
I have found that this has been better. You can drop barrage rockets and go with a million different other things. Honestly, if you drop barrage rockets here, you still have a crew slot. You could put Hondo, Grievous, which I thought Grievous only cost 3 points, but I guess it's 4. You could put Grievous in here.
Ooh, that's good. Nice.
You can then put, which I've ran it with Grievous, and Grievous is really good at keeping her between Gauntlet and Grievous. It's really good at keeping her alive. You can run Electro Chafe missiles, right? Kind of as a control piece. Or if you want to be spicy, you can run multi-missile pods. And
Wow,
now you're Bosk with 2
yeah.
dice. You're a 2 dice
That,
Bosk.
that was really interesting. So I after our match that we had with NCX, I was actually playing around with this loadout. What I originally had for this was cluster missiles with weapon system officer, gunner on this, and dropping off marksman to get that double tap out the front, and then just regaining that target lock on the initial shot that you had. But this is definitely really interesting. I do like the idea of the barrage rockets, especially if you get them in bullseye, to have that that passive reroll by spending a charge, which is really, really good. Yeah.
How did you get weapons? Oh, you didn't have Grievous, I bet.
The gunner. Yeah, I dropped Grievous for weapon system officer.
Yep, and this is really good too. What do you do with the 2 points then?
You can do enduring, which is really good to take, like, not suffer crits, or you can
Predator. I would do Predator.
Ion missile. I was gonna say ion missile in case they end up going to like range 3.
Yeah, but you could do ion missile too. Yeah, and I think this is decent. Like this is your your double tap with double mods. That's what that is. So it just kind of depends on how you want to run bow. You also can run Pre-Vizsla. He doesn't get as much loadout points. His ability is to add a dice to the attack. And in this one, I think there's a pretty easy standard build where you run Trick Shot
and Veteran Tail Gunner.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And what else are we running? Mando Optics.
I actually consider Zam on Pre-Vizsla.
Oh yeah. Why would you want?
Just so you can get the target locks off. I mean, he's a low enough initiative where if he's getting shot up, that he can trigger Zam to get that free target lock. And you don't need to equip Mandalorian Optics at that point. You could do Drop Seat and open up for maybe some other crew.
Well, if you put Drop Sheet, then you would have to drop Trick Shot too. I mean, otherwise you have no points.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
you have to drop one of these.
Yeah, that's fair.
So really, that's really, yeah. I don't know. Like, there's nothing. You're just giving up a point.
Yeah, that's true.
So either way, so that's kind of, those are the builds that I've been thinking of running. I'll probably steer towards the Separatist because I like that more. But I will say that FO list is really fun to run. A lot of fun to run. I have a lot of fun with that FO list, and it's not got bombers in it. So,
well, it's really great when you're playing it in person. And you have the giant metal focus tokens that you got from GSP. Those are so great. I love those, man. Especially when in one turn you had 4 of them on Whirlwind, right? My gosh, man.
It was fun. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We apologize we didn't have games tonight. I had to work my other job earlier tonight, and we were off on Sunday. We really wanted to do a cast. We promise on Sunday we will definitely be back. I have no more concerts. until May 16th. So I am concert free until May 16th. So we'll be able to present more X-Wing content and then go back to our Wednesday stream for games for that. Next Sunday, we'll be talking about a little bit about kind of the divide in the community. We also are going to be talking about what we feel the best part of 2.5 is. I think there's a lot of benefits that have come from this. A lot of people don't agree with me. So if you would like to get your voice in, message us on Discord or post in our Discord. JJ will collect all of all the comments and we'll go through them. I 100% like 2.5 for a lot of what's come out of it. We've talked about the gripes. I think we've spent enough time talking through the gripes that we don't need to focus on them anymore. It's here. It's not going to go away. And unless AMG or Asmodee kills X-Wing and this becomes community run, we're here for 2.5. Now, if they kill it, we'll have a different conversation based on which way the X-Wing community wants to go to keep the longevity of the game going. But for now, we're here. We're going to stay here, and I feel that there's still benefits to 2.5 that we haven't shared with the community. Lastly, we're going to be talking a little bit about we were going to do object placement or objective placement, but we're not going to do that. I think we're going to pass on that for now because I think the complexity level of that will change with the builds and the loadouts and all the different weird little things we find. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to go more in depth in having a conversation about what factions and what style of builds works for each objective, right? So, and I think we want to do this because we have data for who's won, who's not won. But I think there's a happy medium in this bell curve that explains to us where a list possibly could be good in multiple arenas. And I say that because, for example, and I'm going to pick on JJ's slow-moving trucks, they are going to get Alea once, and then they're slow and moving. If I have Jedi that are going to come in, take the little crate boxes and run away with them, you're going to have a hard time catching me. That's just a fact. And you're going to lose that specific scenario. But when we talk about being able to put 4 ships on the board to just kind of come in and kill things for chance engagement, works very well. 100%. So that's what I kind of want to move to. And that'll probably be like a multi-week discussion. Like this is going to be something we continually converse on. I'm not going to commit to covering 5 scenarios in one night. It's going to be, my guess is 1 scenario a night for the next 5 weeks. And because I want to analyze how each faction works with it. And then what's going to happen is in the background, JJ is going to take some notes in an Excel document, or I'm sorry, a Google Sheets document, because nobody uses Excel but me. And we're going to compare them. And then at the end, once we name these styles, at the end, what's going to happen is we're going to present the results. So that way you can say, okay, this style of list, if you fit into this definition, you'll be successful or have a higher probability at being successful in these specific scenarios. And I feel that, like, for me as a player, when I look at competitive lists, that's where I want to go, right? Like, I want a list that's going to win me when I can only lose one point in a tournament. How do I build a list that does multiple things? My Mando is fun. I just don't know how many tournaments he's going to win for me. Maybe once I get Cad Bane, it'll be a little bit better.
Yeah, exactly.
Or multiple Cad Bane. Give me a bunch of those little fuckers to fly around. Whew, I'm excited. Man, I'm excited for that shit to come out.
Yeah,
all right.
Too. Yeah.
Anything you have, JJ, as we wrap up?
No, that's it. Glad to be back and casting again, and just hope everybody has a great week. And just a side PSA, just to like recent events that's happened in my life recently. If you guys ever finding yourself in a tough spot and you need to talk, reach out to a family member, reach out to a friend, or if you know somebody that's going through a hard time, speak with them, talk with them. You have more power to change somebody's life for the positive than you know.
Yep. And if you are struggling, and you don't want to reach out to that 800 number, you can message any one of us and we will happily talk with you. So, and I will say from personal experience that I've had many of friends that have gone down that road. One that was extremely close, and like last night I went to a concert that normally him and I would be at together. And you know, those are the hard times. So if you are struggling or you have any time you need to talk, and I will speak for JJ because I know he has a big heart, you can message me or JJ and Charles and just say, hey man, it's really bad right now. Can I talk to you? And we will literally do everything in our power to have a conversation with anybody about it to help you through that time. And I will tell you, Charles has contacted me, and I have contacted Charles randomly in the last year because the pandemic did not work very well. I am not a pandemic person at all. I love the online community, and I love being able to connect with billions of people, but it's really hard not being in person for me.
Yeah.
Because it does not fit my personality at all. You can ask JJ because I'm a fucking busy bee motherfucker when it comes to in person. Ask how many hours of sleep he got at Adepticon. Ask him.
Not very many.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Empire Strikes Back was on TV.
That's true. That's true. We did watch Empire Strikes Back. That was pretty good. That was fun. I haven't watched that movie. I have actually not watched that movie until you and I watched that, and that's probably been a good 5 years since I watched that movie.
Wow.
I like that movie.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. This it sucks because the summer is going to be busy, but I think this winter, or if we go back into a lockdown again, it's going to be. I'm gonna do what I did with Marvel, and I'm gonna rewatch every Star Wars movie besides the holiday special and the Clone Wars TV show. I'm gonna watch every movie back to back in the order that they're presented. So,
yeah.
Anyway. Thank you all for joining us. We will be back Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, if you would like to join us here in the chat. Thank you, 207 Squadron, for jumping in on us. Have a good night, and we'll be back Sunday night. Have a good night, everyone. That I said 7 times. See ya.